what you'll find out is the harder you try to sell, the fewer clients you get. So there's a couple of things here. You need to sell. You need to be able to pay for the place that you live in, the roof over your head, for food that you put onto the table, and survival is your first instinct, and you must do that. I'm not talking about that just yet, but let me ask you a couple of questions. One is, if you look at every person as a prospect, somebody to sell services to because you're so needy of money, how do you think they feel? What do you think the impression is when you create? So I find that people who try to sell, who try to close, who have a very clear agenda that they're not really trying to help me, I get it pushes me away. It makes me fearful. It makes me to lose trust in this person. And if that's what happens, what you'll find out is the harder you try to sell, the fewer clients you get. So it's counterintuitive. Okay. Now, I want everybody who's listening to this, who's in a position where your survival depends on your ability to sell, I want you to rethink the word sell. I just want you to change that word. It's 4 letters. Let's just erase that word in your mind and just help. So transform sell to help. Like, I want to help you. And I genuinely and with full enthusiasm believe that where you have a challenge, I can actually provide service. So, but I want to understand what your needs are. I want to understand how you make decisions. I want to understand what has prevented you from having success up until this point. And if I can truly help you, I will. And sometimes helping you is to say, I'm not qualified for this. Sometimes being helpful is to refer someone else, or to say, like, you know what, this is you're going to overpay for this. I will charge you this amount, but you're going to overpay me to do this. If you want, you should call somebody else for a lot less money. What happens then is what you do is you build trust. And trust is really the currency that we're working with then, right? So you have to ask yourself this question. Everything you say, and more importantly, everything you do, either loses or gains trust in the other person's eyes. So ask yourself, the next time you have a call with a client, how deep is the bucket of trust that you're building versus the bucket of losing trust? So when the client says something and you cut them off, when the client hasn't even fully, clearly articulated their problem, and you already say, I know the answer. Like, how is that possible? You could know the answer. I'm still working through it in my mind. How do you know I even need this? So these are all assumptions that are really selfish and self-motivated versus trying to help the other person. The most wonderful thing happens if you help the other person, if you, in their eyes, are perceived as somebody who is worthy of being trusted, they will not only pay you more money, they'll stop talking to other people, and they'll give you more creative latitude than you've ever had in your life. So it's counterintuitive. And the reason why is I think is because in popular culture and media, we have too many bad examples of what it means to sell somebody something. We have the Wolf of Wall Street. We have con men, con women, con people who run around saying, that's the alpha prototype, is sell, high pressure, aggressive. And to me, it's an old way of selling. I think it works in some areas when the seller has a lot of leverage. But in most cases for creative people, it's really ineffective.
Hi, my name is Greg Gunn, and I'm the producer of the Futur podcast. And yes, we do have a podcast. In fact, we've been having one for years, and that's exactly why I'm here talking with you. You see, it's really good, and I think you should listen to it. If you like what we do here on YouTube, then you're gonna love what we do on the podcast. You'll get to hear intimate conversations and personal stories from some familiar faces and others you might not know about yet. Plus, you can listen to it while doing something else and you won't miss a thing. So, if any of that sounds interesting to you, go visit thefutur.com/podcast or find it on your favorite podcast listening app. I hope to see you there.